All right, joining me now is annual visit to the Sports Illustrated Media Podcast. Always a good time. I don't have to do too much prep, which I like. When Kyle Brandt from Good Morning Football joins the show. What's up, Kyle?
Jimmy, can we talk about heel turns for a second?
Sure.
I want to tell you, when I think heel turns, I think Hulk Hogan bash at the beach.
Right.
I think John Cena, the recent one, and I think Jimmy Traina turning on the great Gus Johnson for his call in the greatest moment, and you just put the black hat on, and you're the evil guy, and now you're the heel. How does it feel?
Well, I was expecting to be the heel, and then what I got was like 98% of the people responding to me, agreeing with me. So it was a fake heel turn after all. Listen, I've said this many times, and no one ever wants to hear me complain about my job. But there is a needle that needs to be threaded doing what I do, because I have to write this column every day where I know that if I am negative, that's usually what sells, which I hate. And then I have to book this podcast on my own. So it's like, okay, I can write this about Gus, but I don't think Gus is going to come on anytime soon. And you got to do that trade-off. But I've loved Gus over the years so much. He's become unlistenable. That's just how I feel.
Wait, always or just in that particular moment?
Oh, he's really bad now.
Okay.
He's really bad. He gets I don't mind the screaming, although with him it's incessant. You have to pick your spots with it. He gets so many things wrong during a game. It's crazy. He's really bad. So
leave Gus alone.
Yep.
Jimmy, this is fascinating for me though, because I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're like, you don't want to write the negative stuff, but It does get clicked on. And what's amusing to me is, because you are a friend of mine, I know your negative stuff that you don't go with. I know things that you feel about people in media that are very negative and that I actually agree with, but that I'm like, why don't you put that in your post then? And you're like, I just don't want to deal with the shit I have to go through if I do.
Right. That one, but see, that was one where I was watching the game and was so annoyed by him ruining the game that I couldn't help it.
Okay.
My thing with announcers too is it's all subjective, obviously, but I have one simple rule that starts with whether I like you or not. Don't annoy me. Don't be annoying during the game.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous what happened on Saturday. So
we've talked about this a lot. I don't have a good palate for the in-game announcers, meaning it's just not very sensitive. I turn it on. I'm not paying attention to the announcers that much. I really am not. And I know a lot of people, probably most of the people, are so opinionated, whoever it is, or Buck or Collinsworth et al. Part of it is I just am not paying attention very much to what they're saying. Respectfully, I'm watching the game. Right. And then also, I hate to play this card, but I have done it a little bit, and I know how bleeping difficult it is. And so I think I have a way bigger margin of error than just someone at home who's a regular sports fan who gets so mad about how they handle a statistic or a replay.
Well, that's the thing. I usually will never criticize someone if they get a name wrong, if they that stuff is going to happen. Where I get annoyed is one, when you're lost at the end of the game and you don't know what you're talking about with 2-minute warning, timeouts, game management. That to me is the biggest problem with a lot of announcers. And when you don't criticize the refs or a player who makes a bonehead play, that pisses me off. That's why Troy's the best, because Troy will do it.
I know.
And there's also a difference between you've done it a handful of times, whereas Gus has been doing this for 50 years.
Yeah.
And that call was just, you just can't be happy that that's on your resume. But so wait, I was actually going to ask you this. It was on my topic list. There's all these, outlets now adding games like NFL Network. They switch their announcers all the time for the international games. Netflix has games. Would you want to do a game?
I wouldn't do play-by-play. Long story, very short. I did a couple of play-by-play games for the Bears years ago, and it was preseason games, preseason play-by-play. And I don't think that's my natural fit. If someone wanted me in a booth at some point, I'd be incredibly flattered to be a third voice or something like that. Right. Someone who can, all right, well, you said the action and now you said they threw against the cover 2. And now what would be the fan response to what this player did after the play when he got the flag? That's where I live. And so if someone wanted a voice of the fan or voice of an everyman, that's really where I go. So of course, I'd be hugely flattered to be one of those booths. People will cut off their arm to be one of those booths. Absolutely.
And I would actually love, it's so weird. I just looked up and I saw you on my TV doing angry runs. I would actually love I'm usually opposed to a 3-person booth.
Yeah.
But I do think if that third person is not an ex-player and it's someone like you as a voice of the fan, I would love that. Like, I think that would, here's the thing. Take the game that happened in wherever it was. I don't know, London, France, Germany. Who cares?
Which one?
On Sunday, the Colts and the Falcons.
Yeah, that was
Germany. Okay. When they had to redo the coin toss.
Yeah.
That's where someone like you, I think, would be perfect to come in and be like, because no one really wants to say anything negative, but really, how do you screw up a coin toss is really the comment.
Jimmy, there's a through line with you. And when I say you, I mean just people like you who just love sports. Right. You got to hear some negativity at some point, because if you're not hearing negativity, it's just myopic. It's not real. It's not real conversation. And I respect, last night's game, we're doing this on Tuesday. It was 10-7, Eagles over Packers. It was boring. It was sloppy. It was bad. And you kind of want someone at the end of the third quarter to be like, well, this game sucks. Can somebody do something? And Aikman is one of the only people who would do that.
And Al, remember?
Al for sure.
When Thursday night was so bad week after week, and Al just was ready to vomit on the air. It was so great. But you also have to be in that Al, I don't give a fuck stage of your life and career.
I know, because there's so few people who are above the law, and I consider Aikman like that, where it's you can go on a monologue about the taboos. You can talk officiating. You can talk, I don't know, injuries, the blue tent, whatever you want, all of those things. And you can be hugely critical of, and no one's going to be like, Troy, we're going to sit you down for a week. And they're just not going to happen. He's too pedigreed. He's too tenured. He's too good. And there's only a few people. Most of those people, like the regular rank and file, ham and egger, I do color commentary for this network and this crew. I think that if there's a negative monologue, something that gets the league's attention, I think they're given a sit down. I think they're let's try to spin it a different way. Whereas there's just a few guys who are like, I spin it my own way. And if you want to fire me, fine.
But it also, I don't want it to come off as it has to be always something negative. I just want the truth. For instance, last night when the Eagles didn't punt on the 4th down.
Right.
You'd have some analysts being like, well, maybe Nick Sirianni's trying to do this, or the mindset here could be, no, come out and say, this is absurd.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what he's thinking. Very few will do that. Troy does it, which is,
he did it last night.
Thank God for him. All right. This is where I wanted to start with something, just because this is the biggest topic, and I run a little risk here because we're taping on Tuesday, pod comes out Thursday, so maybe things get settled. But what is your, at home in Casa de Kyle, what is the cable streaming satellite? What do you have? Are you a YouTube TV guy? That's really what I want to know.
No.
Okay. Then we don't have to have this conversation.
I get triggered by this, Jimmy, because you're also touching on something else. Set aside the YouTube TV thing, and I will talk about that. However, I hate this thing online where people are rate my setup, and it's them with 57 flat screen TVs on some basement that's 5,000 square feet, and they have the fridge next to their couch, and they have their dog sitting there. I have a couch and a television. I don't have a goddamn Dave and Buster's in my house. You're not going to rate my setup. My setup is the same one that my dad had in 1983, and I like my setup. I do Red Zone, and occasionally I'll jump to a game that I want to focus on where I want to get more of the full story than a Red Zone. I have never done YouTube TV. I'm not against it. I've just never done it. I don't do any of those things. I'm on my phone. And I'm on my good old-fashioned 60-inch LG television watching Scott Hansen or whatever the crew is doing the game. That is it. That's my setup. Rate it if you want.
Yeah, it's embarrassing that you don't have two TVs.
Why? Jimmy, why do I have to have two televisions? They do this thing where they put 8 televisions on one screen. It's called the Octobox. It's right there.
They don't have the Octobox for the whole Red Zone. They only do it for a second. But wait, what do you have? DirecTV or something? What do you have? That's what.
I have Jimmy, I got straight old fashioned Verizon cable.
Oh, that's what I have.
Television.
That's what Fios. That's what I have. Okay.
Yeah, Fios. I got Fios.
The reason I bring this up, I think I may have said this last week when I was talking to Sal. What What has blown me away more than anything with this is how many people have YouTube TV. I had no idea.
I know.
Well, they only have 10. They only have 10 million subscribers, but it seems to be everyone I follow on Twitter is a subscriber. Like JJ Watt has YouTube TV. I don't understand. But
it's 10 million diehards though. It's 10 million media people.
Oh yeah,
I think most of the NFL fans, when you see, I don't know, whatever, 32 million people watch some game, that's 22 million people I think are watching it like me. And I think there's 10 million people like, I'll listen to like Simmons and Cousin Sal, and they're talking about, oh, I put this game in the Octo, or I put this game, and then I focused on this game. And I'm like, you're producing you're in the production truck. I'm just
that's
sitting
what I
do
every Sunday. Yeah, that's
I
what
don't do it like
Sunday.
that, but maybe I will. Should I?
It depends. I can't. So what I do is I'll just tell you last Sunday. So my best friend, my oldest friend from 7th grade, is a diehard Buffalo Bills fan. He's obsessed with you. I think I've told you this before. My buddy Brett thinks he's friends with you through me. It's very weird. He loves you. Because you're a big Buffalo guy. He's a Buffalo guy. So he comes over. So on my second TV, I gave him the atrocious Bills-Dolphins game.
Terrible.
I have a third TV, which I had on the Jet game, because the problem is you can't get the local games as part of the Sunday ticket if you don't have YouTube TV, and I have Fios. So then on the big TV, that's when I go 4 boxes, Bucks, Patriots, Jaguars, Texans, Ravens. Who did they play? Vikings. And I forgot what and then on the big computer monitor, I had the Giants and the Bears.
Does it bother you that the 4 games on the big TV are then so small? Like, can you really watch them?
I have very, very few skills in life. I have maybe like 2 or 3 skills. One of them is being able to watch 8 games at once. Like, I do it better than anyone. And I work.
But then you also have to designate a game that has the volume, right?
Yes. And I go, I'm the best remote worker. I know how to get the volume to where it needs to be for which game.
Jimmy, I feel like I wish you could work behind the bar at a sports bar on
I've done
Sunday, because those people never know what the hell they're doing, ever.
Me and my buddies one year went to watch the NCAA tournament somewhere. And it was at a Marriott hotel, but they had all the TVs. They didn't know what they were doing. I said to the guy, I go, you got to give me the remote. Just give me the remote. I'll handle it.
I'm the captain now. You're running reruns of Raymond, and I got to put on my bracket buster.
As the games go on, you peel off games. Like once a game, once one team starts dominating, you can peel off and you don't focus on that. As like the Jets Browns, I barely watched it.
No, you can't watch
it on a TV, but like I'm
well,
not watching.
Listen, a couple of things. One, I just remember there's something else I do, especially for the primetime games. If it's Monday or Thursday or Sunday, a lot of times we don't have like a lot of TVs in our house. We have one TV center by design. So if I walk into the family room and my wife is watching, she usually watches something with British people or home renovation. If she's watching a show, I can either say, babe, I got to put on Vikings Lions, and she'll be all right with it. But you know what I do? I just take out my phone, and I have the NFL app, and I have the NFL Plus subscription, so I can watch any game on my phone. I just sit there on the couch and watch it like this.
See, okay, and I know this is not going to make sense because I just told you I'll watch 4 games at once on the quad boxes. I cannot watch anything on my phone.
Yeah, I don't really like it, but I
can't do it.
I don't want to ask her to change it either.
I can't do it. There's not a second TV in the whole Brandt home.
There is, but it's upstairs, and the kids have all their video games on. Like that's honestly, this is by design. Like we're low on TVs. We have enough goddamn screens and everything. So I've watched many games this season sitting there on the couch like this.
Oh my God, what are you doing, Kyle?
But I work for the league.
What are you doing? Get the second TV and cut
But Jimmy, the elephant in the room. This is where I lose the people, and this is where I lose you.
Yeah.
I think I watch football much differently than you do for one very, very, very big reason is that I never, ever gamble on it. I don't really 100%. Care. I don't know what the spread is. I don't care.
100%. 100%. But listen, whether you gamble or not, you should not be watching games on your phone when you're on the league's signature morning show. Jesus Christ. Hope you at least have a
I'm going to watch the Super Bowl like this.
And then what happens if someone texts you and you got the screen? Like,
and then I want to go to Twitter and I have the screen gets even smaller because I flick it up and I'm watching Jamar Chase run like a tiny ant person as I look at my dumb feed.
Oh, Kyle, we got to upgrade you.
That's rough. You.
All right, let's get into some media topics here.
All right.
And we'll talk about some NFL stuff. Let me start with this. I feel like you've become the QB interviewer this year. You didn't do it last year. I feel like this year, like every week, you got a different quarterback. You've done Josh Allen and Baker, Daniel Jones this week, a bunch of others. Who has been the guy who has surprised you in any way, shape, or form the most from interviewing them this year?
I'll give you the full lineup. So in the last 3 months, I've done Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones. And by done, you sit there in two directors' chairs, like tale as old as time, and they say to you, you have 10 to 12 minutes. Sometimes they let you go longer. Sometimes they don't. It's not live. It's all taped. It's you and the quarterback. And I'm given the leash to ask pretty much anything I want. So to your question, Rodgers, I've interviewed several times. He's my favorite player to interview by far in any sport, in any generation, because it's kind of that something we talked about with the announcers is that like he just doesn't care. He doesn't care about being polite. He doesn't care that he's supposed to say the right thing. And he just will actually answer authentically. And he hates talking in cliches. He hates saying we just have to execute. And it's so refreshing. Plus, he's a guy in his 40s, which is helpful a little bit. Baker Mayfield is just like you think. He is just like the dude. He walks in the room. He's immediately cool. He has this almost presidential quality about him when he shakes your hand. He has aura. Like he is kind of just congenial and fun and energetic. The guy who was the guy who is fascinating is Burrow. We're saying right now this week. They're saying that Burrow may be on the path to coming back and he's going to try to rally the Bengals. And Joe Burrow's going to re-enter the spotlight here. In fact, he got injured like the day after I interviewed him, which kind of sucked against Jacksonville. Comes in the room. The thing with these quarterbacks is they're always alarmingly tall. And then when you shake their hand, it's frightening how large their hands are. Their fingers go up to your elbows. And it's like, oh crap, this guy's a different type of species than I am. Burrow sits down and it's everything you hear about like, he just has this kind of charisma about him. And you can tell that this is not just your rank and file football player. This is a celebrity football player. This is like an international celebrity. And he has the most interesting, most unique speech pattern I've ever spoken to in any walk of life. Meaning every question that I asked him, be it for Joe, how's life right now? Or how do you relate to young teammates who are just coming into the league and were maybe a late round draft pick? He listens to the question. He looks over to the side, he takes a breath, and there's a massive 3 or 4 second pregnant pause, and then he looks back at you and answers, and gives a good answer. It's so unusual. He has this censoring system where he's trying to think about his response authentically, and then he gives it to you. And it's really, really unwieldy because it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of a little intimidating. And then once you get used to it, you settle in. But he's one of the most interesting people I think I've ever been in a room with, man. He's different.
Yeah, I could totally, because I also feel like there is a ton about Joe Burrow that we don't know.
I agree.
Like, off the field, maybe not football related. And you can see when he's doing his stuff with media, he's very, tell me if you agree or disagree. I feel like he's guarded, but also says a lot. It's a very strange thing with him.
Yeah. And he talks openly.
Strange, not in a bad way. I don't want to.
No. Joe was awesome. And he was really generous with his time and we went way over.
Yeah.
But I keep saying it's interesting. It's unique. He has said on record, like, I'm not really comfortable a lot of times in my own skin. Right, I don't think there's a lot of people who can relate to him. So I'm like, all right. So Joe, just a few years ago, you were just this tall kid in Ohio. You were just Joe. Like, you played high school football. You were good at sports. Good for you. Now you're a global celebrity. Like, how do you get through life? Because that doesn't seem to fit you. Like, who can you relate to? And he's like, honestly, Odell and I talk a lot about like what it's like to live in this atmosphere, what fame is like. He's like, Tom Brady has been a really good resource. I talk to him sometimes. So those are the people that are his peers who can relate to what his life's like. It's not the guys in the locker room. Like, they don't have a life like him. Right. Trey Hendrickson is a great football player. His life is not like Joe Burrow's. Jamar Chase's is not like Joe Burrow's.
Right.
So that's why it's so interesting to talk to the quarterbacks, man, because someone like Josh Allen, like, you can't even imagine what it's like 24/7 to get through his life and just be a normal, kind, productive, positive person. And the fact that they still do it, like, they have to go through a lot of stuff to navigate to come out that way.
Yeah. I interviewed him once.
Josh?
No, Burrow.
Yeah.
Not for the podcast, but I interviewed him. It was like the day before the entire world shut down from COVID in that March, was it
March
February?
2020.
March 2020.
Yeah.
And we never released the interview. And I remember what blew me away about that interview was there is that unbelievably globally famous shot of him after he wins the national championship at LSU smoking the cigar.
Yeah.
And in that interview, he told me that was the first time he had ever smoking a cigar. And I'm like, that picture makes you look like you should be on the cover of like Cigar Aficionado.
Yeah, like Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. And it was the first time. And then we never released the interview because then everything shut down. And so that bummed me out. But I like Burrow a lot. So who do you have the list of like quarterbacks coming up, or is it not planned out?
I have my, you know who I want to do the most? I really want to sit with Lamar because I don't think he does much of that. Like I can't think of a lot of one-on-one Lamar Jackson. I sat with him for 15 minutes interviews. And also someone who I love the contrast, Jimmy, between someone who is such a fixture in the NFL and so famous, and yet we don't really know very much about them. Like I can't tell you what Lamar's personal life is like. I don't know what he's doing on Instagram. I don't know how he spends his time. I don't know any of that stuff. And I've been watching him for 7 years now. So I would love to do Lamar. That's the number one guy.
Got it. Football season is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats, like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. This week, I am looking at the Monday Night Football game. The Cowboys visit the Raiders. Dallas coming off a bye week, playing that awful Raiders defense. I think Dallas lights up the scoreboard. So I'm definitely going higher on Dak Prescott touchdown passes, and I'm going to go higher on CeeDee Lamb yards. That is on Monday night. So do that there on Underdog. Download the app today. Sign up with the promo code Sports Illustrated to score $100 in bonus funds or entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Sports Illustrated. Underdog. Make picks. Win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
How is it easy to get like if you wanted to do Mahomes in a week or two, is that easier? You got to go through hoops.
The league does it because I work for the NFL and so the league does it so they know it's going to be positive and they know it's going to be supportive.
Right.
The Mahomes one is complicated. Like the Chiefs would have to be into it. Mahomes would have to be into it. I don't know if the Chiefs like me. I don't know if Mahomes likes me. It's really interesting, Jimmy. I always see these clips. You know, you'll see clips of people who go to like a Taylor Swift concert or Katy Perry, whatever, and they get to like meet the star backstage after the show or something. It feels like that. You get on a plane, you drive to a random city like Indianapolis or Cincinnati. You're driven to this sort of arena stadium where it feels like there's a rock concert going on. You're escorted to a single room that's small and has 2 chairs in it. And then you're kind of waiting around for the rock star to enter, and you wait and you wait. And because of their schedules, they're usually late. And then it's like, okay, we're 5 minutes away. They're on their way. They're 2 minutes away. They're 30 seconds away. And, you know, you kind of stay calm because I got to be cool and relatable and I'm getting nervous.
Yeah.
And then they walk in the room and depending on the guy, it's like whoosh. And then you sit down and it's just like, go. Because usually the status is 10 or 12 minutes, not 10 minutes, not 12, 10 or 12.
Right.
Now, normally the person who's in charge of enforcing the 10 or 12 minutes is behind the player in your eyesight, waiting and listening. And I've been hard wrapped before, full on this right now. And I'm like, I got 3 more questions. It hasn't been 12 minutes, but you get hard wrapped. I've also been like, I'm under 18 minutes and they're still letting it go. You just keep on going. It's really nerve wracking, but it feels like going backstage to meet a rock star, like during or after the concert. It's a real rush.
it blows my mind that you have to deal with that when you work for it's one thing for me to deal with that bullshit because who wants to come on this dopey podcast and have me grill them? But like you're doing these interviews for the league's channel and they're still doing that to you. It just reminded me because I know this is right up your alley as a pop culture guy. Have you ever seen the famous clip of what was her name now from MTV? She was interviewing Tabitha
Sorensen, yeah.
Interviewing Mariah Carey when they wrap her up.
I don't think I know that one.
I will text it to you. It's one of the greatest clips that
Does she run through the stop sign or something?
Oh, she does. She does more than run through it. She starts fighting with the publicist. And Mariah is ready to basically like soil herself because she's so nervous and doesn't know what to do.
Well, listen, we had that during the election with the Kamala interview. Remember, there was a hard rap there and everyone was getting pissed off. I don't handle it like either, but I want to see the Mariah clip.
I'll send it to you.
All right.
Let me ask you this. Listen, you're sort of last man standing on Good Morning Football, but I would think the departure of Peter Schrager is a little bit different than the departures of Kay Adams and Nate Burleson.
No.
How has it been doing Good Morning Football this year without Schrags?
Well, I have to say this first, and I love you. It's fine. I always kind of wince at the last man standing, and you'd understand why.
Well, from the original.
I know. But like, I have so much respect for Jamie Riddall and Manti Te'o and everyone who does it and everyone who gets up at 2 a.m. in LA and brings it. Like, I love them. And I understand what that phrase means. And I know where you're going with it. I just don't, that's not a phrase I use myself. Right. But Jimmy, you know this better than anybody. You've potted with Peter and me together. I like the people I work with. I will always will. But like, Peter was very, very special to me. Very special. It was the closest thing that I've ever felt to Kornheiser and Wilbon, like those guys who I've watched for 25 years. And I miss them terribly. And it's like this thing where, all right, so you have this like mutual breakup for whatever reason, and that's fine. The problem is when I go to the goddamn gym and I'm sitting there working out and I got to see my ex with her new lover. And, they're doing things and I'm like, wow, she's into that. And she's like that. And like, oh, I feel like I could do that better than her new man or whatever. Like, it's like, I'm sitting there watching it as I'm exercising and Peter's sitting there next to Cam Newton on First Take. And I'm like, I want to jump through the screen. I just heard what Peter said. And he made some reference to something that was funny and interesting and 50,000 miles an hour over 5 guys' heads, which fine. It's not how they're wired. I am wired like that. I want in. Somebody tag me in so I can help Peter with the reference, A, and so I can enjoy it, B. So my volume's going up, my face is getting red. It's like how you talk about an ex. I don't consider Peter an ex, but Jimmy, I'm not going to be cool and be like, he chose to move on to ESPN and we're doing a great thing here. Of course, I missed the shit out of Peter. Of course.
I love it. That is. And because also too, and this also has to go into sort of, I get why you don't like the last man standing, but it's based on also like you guys had chemistry. And when you do what you do, it's very difficult to find that chemistry. I mean, I'm sure, I'm sure, the season's now moved on a lot, but I'm sure earlier in those first few weeks without him, you probably thought you had a line that he would love. Oh, he's not there. Oh, I could set this. Oh, Peter's not there. I mean, when you have that chemistry and then it's over, that's got to be a difficult thing to deal
I think
with.
that all the time. And I'm not going to talk too much about Peter because Peter's got his, but like, believe me, when I see that is I watch him on TV and he's sitting with people at a table and he's doing his thing and he's doing the Schrager thing and he's incredible at it. And like, I don't know if necessarily that there's the chemistry coming back at him from the other people who they got their own thing going on. Like they're not maybe wired for Peter as well as I was.
Well, my prediction is someone who covers sports media for a living, not as someone who is friends with you in real life, but as a sports media person. I predict that ESPN will pair you guys up at some point whenever this ESPN purchase happens and the government puts it through, et cetera, et cetera. Even, I'm not saying you won't be on Good Morning Football. I'm not saying they would change it. I'm saying I don't know what's going to happen with anything else, but they would be really stupid to not pair you guys up in some way, shape, or form when you become an ESPN person and when this sale happens.
I would always love to do anything with Peter. That's my guy. That's my number one guy.
So when you see that ESPN is going to buy the NFL Network, what goes through your head? What's your
excitement? Excitement. And I'll tell you why. Because let's say that for the last 9 years, I get to play in this really cool but modest sandbox that is NFL Network, now NFL Media, and it's done amazing things for my life and my career and my family and everything. But then the news comes in that a massive, all-powerful, all-able corporation company is going to say, come play in our sandbox. You can be in ours now. And we got all this stuff to play with in any way that you want. It's an awesome thing. It's the kind of thing, Jimmy, where like I'll get a text from an aunt that I haven't talked to in 4 years about, wow, I read about does this mean you're going to be on ESPN? Oh, yeah. It's a big deal. ESPN, the fire hose is 1,000 times stronger. And so
right.
There's more to do. There's more people watching. There's more ability. And so like especially at this point in my career, I think it's fantastic. I really do mean that. I'm not just saying it, like it's time.
Would you ever want a solo show, or would you always want to be part of an ensemble?
You know, anybody who says they don't ever want a solo show is so full of shit. You know, I've had different versions of solo shows before, different versions of success. I've never thought of that, Jimmy. I don't know. I don't need to have a solo show. Yeah. I want to do something where it's fun and people tune in because it seems authentic. All I care about, it could be have 20 people on it or just me. Does it feel like an authentic show where people are saying things that they really believe in and really say? It's all I care about at this point, Jimmy. In work, at home, I just want to talk to real people and have real conversations where we're not lying or trying to be cool or trying to look different. It's all I care about. So if it's me and the entire ESPN, NFL network talent roster, great. You know, that's all I want.
Yeah. I think, you know, what I hope happens too is I don't want, I've always said this. What I love about you and Peter specifically is that you're not ex-athletes and can still have such good takes, be entertaining, be smart about what you're discussing. It's so rare because all these networks, not just ESPN, it's all ex-athlete. And to me, I'm tired of that. So I would love, you know, you mentioned PTI before, like Tune On Athletes. They have like the longest, most successful show of any sports show on TV. So like,
yeah, but Jimmy, that's still a thing, man. I'm telling you I hear what you're saying, and I feel like that's maybe a popular opinion that.
Right.
But I have been in rooms. I've been part of Zoom sessions about potentially joining a project or a broadcast, and like they are looking for those ex-players. They don't be under any disillusion that in this era of podcasts and pardon my take and just all these successes, they are still looking for those quarterbacks, those Cowboys. They love it. And I've pitched myself before to different projects, things that are on the air now that are very high profile, where I'm like, listen, you got 5 people, right? And you got 3 of them who are ex-NFL players. 3, like not 1 or 2, 3. I would just be like a voice of the fan or an everyman or just something different, a wild card. Just don't you want one wild card that's not an ex-player? Right. And they always like the idea and they don't go for it. So I think that the ex-player thing, if there's, it's always the first choice, and it's still a very, very powerful thing.
Yeah, that's a bummer. And also, you know, again, as someone who covers, it's just so weird because we talk, we're friends, but I cover sports media. So I see things that you don't tell me that I think of immediately. For instance, all these reports came out that SVP might move to 5:00. And then I see you're on with SVP every Sunday night. So in my head, I automatically go, okay, they'll move SVP to 5 p.m. and Kyle can be his partner. Like that's my thinking as someone who covers this.
Well, so, Jimmy, thank you for thinking that.
Scott, and I think you guys are like, again, that same mentality, same personality, not trying to be like, you know, Joe Sports and like break down like the cover 2, like you guys, I think would be great together. But tell me about doing the Sundays with SVP.
Well, I consider what you said a huge compliment. And I just, with Scott, I just get back to authenticity. It's like, it's just someone who just talks like a normal person. It doesn't feel performative. It doesn't feel deliberately like a provocateur. It's just, he's just talking, and he's talking calmly and intelligently. So the behind the scenes on it, and I don't think Scott would mind me disclosing this, is that Scott reached out very generously and saying, hey, you want to talk the games on Sunday night? And I was like, yeah, of course. I'd love to. And he's like, if you can one week, great. And if you can't, fine. Like, it's all this vibe that he puts out on the air. Right. It's the same way on the text chain. And then it also extends to the production on that show and the producers on that show. There is not some very haughty-taughty, intense production meeting about what will you say and how will we match the video. It's this great thing where you get a text. It's like, what are you feeling? What are you into? And I'll shoot back some ideas, and they're like, great, let's go with it. It's so low maintenance. It's so authentic. I know that ESPN is the big dog. It's the worldwide leader, and it gets a lot of eyeballs, and a lot of the eyeballs go to things that people look at as heavily produced and big, bright neon lights and colorful and loud and entertaining and volatile and polarizing. And that stuff all is great. And then I go on Scott's show, and it genuinely feels like I am talking to a colleague or an industry friend who just wants to know what I thought about the Bears game. And it's not only is it fun, it's just refreshing. And I'm really thankful that he invites me to do it.
Now, I have one important question about that segment, and I've never asked you this even off.
All right, I can't wait.
Are you doing that live?
That's the best part. Van Pelt is also... He understands what a life is like of a broadcaster.
Okay.
So
good.
He's like, we'll tape it. And he said even on the air that we tape it because you can't be up that late. He also it's when you work with someone as experienced as him, he has these little nuances that will also help you out, where the first couple of times I did it, he's like, look, I don't want to, take all of your takes. I know you need Monday morning to have takes, which is an insightful thing to think about, where it's like, this person I know has only so many things to say about the Ravens. If he says them on my show, how is he going to say it on his show? And I'm like, don't worry about it. I can make up some other stuff. So it's a very comfortable atmosphere up to and including your question, which is Scott's like, yeah, come on early and we'll tape it. And then we'll just run it. And it's start to finish. I look forward to it every Sunday. It's not one of those things like, oh, I got to go on this podcast. It was that.
Right. Because when I see it, I get nervous. I'm like, he's got to get up in like 4 hours. I hope it's not live. Okay.
No, I'm good, man.
I feel better.
They take care of me.
All right. A couple of football things.
Yeah.
I love that this season is wide open. Like, I don't think anyone has a clue of which two teams will be in the Super Bowl.
Correct.
I like that. How do you feel about that?
Love it. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
When you do this just year after year after year, you just crave a dash of something fresh. Just give me a new flavor. Yeah. It's like someone who works at like McDonald's, like just they eat the same McDonald's food. Like every once in a while, like imagine if someone just like brought them in like a freshly made salad or a steak or something. They would love it. To that point, I was talking about this recently that, do you remember like 7 years ago, Jimmy, when the final four quarterbacks in the NFL were Tom Brady, Case Keenum, Nick Foles, and Blake Bortles? It's a funny picture. There's an illustration of them walking away. Right. I loved that year because it was weird. And it was, you could clearly tell it was an outlier. This season has the makings of maybe some of that, where we could be like, all right, guys, title game weekend. We got Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold, and we have, I don't know, Mac Jones. I don't even know who it is going to be. It's just like, I don't think it's going to be Mahomes and Allen and Hurts and Stafford or Love. Like, I want a little bit of a freak show, and this season feels like it could be headed that way.
Yeah, yeah. The one thing is that I get bummed out about, it does seem like it's just so crazy that, like, when you see what the Patriots did and then the Chiefs after that in terms of the dynasties.
Yeah.
I think we take it for granted how hard that was to do, because you look at a team like the Bengals who got to a Super Bowl. We thought, okay, they're going to be here for a while. They have no defense whatsoever now. Last year, Washington, we thought, okay, this is going to be a team now. This year, disaster. If the Lions don't win it all this year, I think you might start to hear like what's going to happen in Detroit. We thought that it's so hard for teams to get to that level. That's why when people shit on the Chiefs that they're either tired of the Chiefs or this or that, I'm like, I don't. To me, I have nothing but appreciation for the Chiefs and what they've done. I don't, but that's just me. I know other people get sick of them.
Well, that's just about the Lions. I remember when they lost a couple of years ago in the playoffs unexpectedly. Campbell was so perfect afterwards. He's like, this might have been our best shot. I told the guys, like, you don't get here that often. It is really difficult to get back. We've seen it 1,000 times. Remember when Rodgers won the Super Bowl and everyone's like, well, he's going to be here every year. He may win 5 or 6. Never got back. Never will get back. Like that's we have to cash it in early. And to your point about the Chiefs, here's what I come out about the Chiefs this year. So they're 5-4 right now. Like they're really in danger and their second half schedule is going to be hard. I would hate the Chiefs to miss the playoffs. I want them in. I don't care if they win once they get there, but think about this. What if something crazy happens this year? What if Buffalo turns it on, turns it around, and wins the Super Bowl and doesn't go through the Chiefs who didn't even make the playoffs? Don't tell me that is not a little fly in the ointment. I remember vividly, Jimmy, I'll wheelhouse for you. Michael Jordan's first retirement. He retires to go play baseball. And Patrick Ewing goes to him and says, no, you can't retire. I have to beat you. You have to stay in this league. I have to beat you. He was so pissed. So the Chiefs have to be there. Win, lose, I don't care. But I want them in, and I want someone to have to go through them.
Yeah. I love the way you put it, freak show. Like that's how, if you said to me right now, you could have any Super Bowl in the world, like I'd say Colts Seahawks. Like, let's go. Like, give me something.
Daniel Jones versus Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Why
could
not?
You not want that? Right.
You know what, Jimmy? That might happen.
Hurts Mahomes, been there, done that.
Yep.
Let's move on. I would love to see that. And listen, I don't know about Indy. Seattle's got a real chance.
Yeah, they're great.
That team is good. Speaking of all that, I didn't know this, but you told me you have an MVP vote this year.
Can you believe it?
Do you feel pressure?
Yeah, I feel like I also just
how does it come about that you get an MVP vote? Let me start with that.
So for a long time, there was a dynamic where people who worked for NFL media were not allowed to have it, and there was a guideline where that wasn't allowed. Now that is gone. So
everyone got pissed off last year. I remember that. Now.
You're right.
It's like someone did something ridiculous.
Asked me, he's like, "Do you want an MVP vote?" And I was like, "Oh, that'd be awesome, amazing, for real." So I got one, and I know a couple other of my colleagues in NFL media have one too. But I feel like this is a reference I can only make to you, like Peter. I feel like Wayne and Garth with the backstage passes, just showing them to everybody. Like, I have an MVP vote. I have one. I get to vote for MVP. I have to vote for MVP because also, Jimmy, you know this too. I also will be voting for All Pro, and those lists become public. Like those lists, we're like, Kyle Brandt didn't vote for Penei Sewell to be first team All Pro. Let's attack him on Twitter. Or Kyle Brandt did. And I'll tell you this, Jimmy. I'm going to vote MVP in who I think MVP is. I'm not going to go on Twitter and go with the popular vote. I'm not just going to pick the quarterback with the best stats and the best team. I may have an unconventional choice for MVP, and I'm going to be proud of that. They may take this thing away after 1 year. I don't care. I'm going to be me this year.
Who could you pick now? I'm trying to think. Who could you pick that would like ruffle feathers?
Well, I mean, even honestly, just picking Jonathan Taylor would ruffle feathers. There's this stupid thing now where everyone's like, well, he's the offensive player of the year. We just give that to the best running back. That's idiotic. Why? I don't like that. He could be MVP.
There is a major, listen, I don't get worked up about postseason awards. I stopped doing that a long time ago. But there is a major issue with the lack of definition for what the MVP is. Like, when I think of MVP, what I say in my head is, if this person got hurt and was not on the team all year, what would happen? But by that standard, you could pick 50 people. So is it the best season? I don't know. I don't know what qualifies for MVP anymore.
Well, if you really want to get into the interesting one, the comeback player of the year is fascinating because it has run the gamut from, I can just list them off the top of my head. Eric Berry, the Chiefs safety, who came back from cancer, and then Joe Flacco, who came back from being a backup quarterback. I think Geno Smith won it too, from just kind of being bad and then being good. And then, Jordy Nelson blew out his knee and came back and won comeback player of the year. So there is a conversation about what are we doing with this award? And I do think they now have clarity, and I've been coached up on it, and I know how to vote.
Okay. I also think what I don't like about MVP too, I hate that it's an every week discussion. Like, can the season play out?
I know.
Like,
I have a rule. I won't discuss it until after week 10, which is where we are now. I won't discuss it.
I love that rule. Make it like week 15.
Yeah, it should be.
All right. What else do I want to get into here with you? Let's do some pop culture stuff before I let you go, because I didn't realize. Let me start with this, because I said I got to ask Hollis. I have not watched it yet, and my plan is to watch it either tonight, Tuesday night, or Wednesday night when there's no football. Have you watched the John Candy doc on Amazon Prime? I said that would be a Kyle thing, I bet.
It's called I Like Me, and I did watch it. And
do you recommend it?
Yeah, it's really melancholy. It is.
Yeah.
And it's it's a lot of stuff with his kids, and it's, Jesus, he was so young when he died. And now you and I are significantly older than he was when he died.
Right.
But I did watch it. I did enjoy it. And Steve Martin, I mean, they got the right people. Like Steve Martin talking about John Candy, I am in. You have me for 2 hours if it's just him. And Steve Martin is so smart and so insightful. And he just tells these stories from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles about John Candy was very sensitive, and he was a very, very soft and very kind person, but also like kind of to himself, like, especially this, it's a great month to watch it because so many people watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles this month. I did watch it. I think you would like it. I think it's for people like us. I think it's a required viewing.
It's weird. He's a guy, when I saw it, there was a doc coming out about him and you hear the name. Yeah. It's like, you love that guy. You love his movies, but you feel like I don't want to say he's underrated, but I guess because he died so early, doesn't get sort of that shine that he should get in a way. Like, I feel like he's a gone but forgotten kind of guy, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's also, I think he's like part of this really macabre triumvirate where it's like our parents, John Belushi went, right, and then like when we were young, John Candy went, and then we got a little older, and then Farley went.
Yep.
And they felt so similar, all three of them. The good thing with Candy is that, like, I don't know, like the TikTok generation, Jimmy, like what movie of John Candy are they going to watch? Like, I don't think they're watching Uncle Buck or Great Outdoors or I think they're watching Planes, Trains, maybe if their parents put it on at Thanksgiving.
I don't think they'll watch that either. They're just going to watch clips.
Maybe. Yeah, you're probably right. Like I saw there was a Kimmel segment recently where Emma Stone did the F-bomb scene at the rental car. And it was a really funny, like, viral segment. And I liked that she even knew what that was. But again, likely people who know what it is because it's a clip that you watch of just that scene. Yeah.
I had a friend of mine tell me this week that he did something at a college, spoke at a college, and he said he thinks podcasts, you'll like this because you hate doing podcasts. He said he thinks they're going to be done in like 3 years because nobody in college listens to podcasts. Every single thing for everyone under the age of like 21 is just video clips. That's it. Video clips.
Short video.
And you see your podcast, like poor Bill Simmons, like The Ringer, like they got to put everything now on YouTube, which I don't think he probably I mean, I don't know that, but my guess is he's probably, but like you have to do it. And I don't think kids today, like, I don't know if they'll ever watch anything that's more than 2 minutes. It's really unbelievable.
I deal with social media producers all the time that the NFL hires with our stuff. And I'll say to them, like, I'll be like, hey, can we get this clip of the thing I was talking about the Seahawks or whatever? And they're like, yeah, but we need to pare it down. And I'm like, it's like 2 minutes and 15 seconds. They're like, yeah, we need to get it down to like maybe 90 seconds. And I was like, but then you missed the whole good part at the end. I built up to the end. They're like, yeah, we got to get it cleaner. I'm like, shit.
You have no idea how much that makes my blood boil.
I mean, I get it. And what's our choice though? Just to say, no, I'm going to keep doing it. And I'm going to invest in newspapers and magazines. Like if they say that's what moves, I guess we have to do it. It sucks though.
And you're also catering to an audience. And I know this because of my nieces. You're catering to an audience that falls for everything, has no idea what's real, what's fake. And that's the audience you're catering to. So what are we doing? I don't understand, but
they need constant energy and excitement and interjection. I remember Josh Allen, we mentioned him earlier. Yeah. A few years ago, I had him on my podcast every week, and we would do a movie review thing where I would recommend a movie from my generation that he had not seen before. And I'll never forget, he did not like The Princess Bride, did not like it. And I was like, it's so charming and wonderful. He's like, I was kind of falling asleep. I was like, what? There's sword fighting and giants and stuff. But watch it back, Jimmy. It's a little slow and it's a little low energy. And they look at it differently than we do. And he's not even that young compared to really young people. But that's how he felt at the time. And I get it.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Speaking of movies,
yeah,
two more. I saw this morning, perusing the World Wide Web, that today, on Tuesday, that we're taping this, is Leonardo DiCaprio's 51st birthday. And when I saw that, I said, I got to ask Kyle, what's his favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movie?
Well, listen, dude, I'm supposed to say The Departed, where like Leo turned tough and got muscular and was beating people up. You could say The Revenant. He finally won the Oscar. It's Titanic. I like Titanic. I say it with my chest, as the kids say. I have never in my life, in December of 1997, watching that movie in the theater, could not believe what I was looking at, what was happening, the boat, the sinking, the whole second act. I bought the love story. I bought the Celine Dion. I was completely into it. And it's a terribly cheesy script and all that, but I don't care. I still mess with Titanic, Jamie. I don't mind saying I love it.
I can't tell you how much I hate that Celine Dion song.
I just can't.
I cannot tell you how much I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, it was everywhere back in the day, everywhere. But listen, my kids haven't watched Titanic yet. If there's nudity in it, I'm not ready for them to see that. They're too young.
Right.
I like that movie. What else would someone say? Like, he's got a million movies. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is excellent. I get it. All that stuff. I love all that shit. But I'm a sucker for Titanic. I don't apologize for it.
I still go with his first movie, which was What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Oh yeah,
rough movie.
Life, What's Eating Gilbert Grape? But like, Jimmy, are you on a weekend? Are you like, I got a couple free hours, I'm gonna pop in Gilbert Grape? Like, no.
I wouldn't do that with the Titanic either. But
well, that's true. I have the double VHS still from back in the day.
All right, last thing here. Yeah. So we're taping this on Tuesday, so it's Veterans Day.
Yeah,
and this is how I've been now since the day I saw it.
Where is this?
When I hear the word Veterans Day, I think of one thing, and I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're supposed to think of troops." I think of one thing, and I think of one thing only.
What?
The Ali G skit with the veterinarian.
It's the best.
He's confused about veterans and veterinarians. And I said, I got to ask Kyle, because I personally feel like the old Ali G show on HBO is the single most underrated piece of entertainment that's ever been created. Like, I feel like people didn't know about it. It was like before social media. Obviously, then Borat became this monster thing. When Ali G was on HBO, I think it was on like Friday nights at like midnight or something. Did you watch it when it was on? Did you come to it late? What was your experience with that?
I'm thrilled at this question. Thrilled at this.
I
loved that show. Loved that show.
Me too.
I'll go so far, Jimmy. I'll make the claim that on my personal HBO Rushmore, it's on there. It's on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so I've been asked, when we do what we do here, people always ask us the same questions over and over, and we always get HBO Mount Rushmore, and everyone always like Sopranos, Game of Thrones, and and no one ever says Ali G, and
it's on mine.
Mine too.
It's on mine. All right, so we probably have the same. I don't. You're not a Game of Thrones guy, right?
No.
All right, so Game of Thrones, Sopranos, Curb, and the Ali G show in no particular order. This guy, so he's just doing three characters. He would do Borat,
right?
Then he would do Bruno, and then he would do Ali G. Yep. And like, he would go as Bruno, and he'd be like, "Hey, being gay is the new coolest thing. So I went to the gayest place in America, Alabama." And he goes to an Alabama football game.
Yes.
He gets an interview afterwards with the star running back, Shawn Williams, who went to the Bills. And he's like, starts hitting on him and saying, like, "What do you have to say to all your gay fans out there?" And he's like, "What?" Like, it's unbelievably compelling to watch how awkward and how far he pushes it. Ali G, watch his sit down with Andy Rooney. It's like the best thing that he ever did.
That is.
Oh my God.
That is. I wish I could reach through the screen and hug you. That thing with Andy Rooney is maybe when he says, "You've been racialist to me."
Yeah.
And Andy, because you're black, racialist.
And Ali G goes, "Hey," because Andy Rooney's like, Andy Rooney's like, "End the interview. I can't do this." And Ali G goes, "He's chucking me out because the color of me skin." And Andy Rooney goes, "Wait, who's black?" Right. I is. Right. You're black? Yeah, I is. And he's like, he's a white guy. It's.
I'll give you. I don't even know if I should do this, but I'll give you my single all-time greatest Ali G moment from that show. He has on like a sex expert or sex therapist, a sex expert or whatever.
Okay.
There's like a table full of like sex toys, whatever, and they're talking, and he says to it's the way he does it, the dead seriousness. He says to the sex expert, "You're like, can I get me Julie pregnant if I go in the bunghole or whatever?" And
yeah.
And she's like, "No," and he just turns to the camera and goes, "See, I told you, Julie, it's not mine."
Oh my gosh! See, he used to do that,
But the veterinarian skit, I remember to this day, and I have a terrible memory. I remember watching that live for the first time and gasping for breath. This poor old man. Well, he's not that old. He's probably like 50s or 60s.
He's a veteran, like Korean War.
He's a veterinarian.
Oh, right.
And he's like the sweetest, nicest old man. And Ali G it's 5 straight minutes of him confusing veterans with veterinarians. And the way Ali G can keep going, I mean, I'm sure it's edited because I don't understand how you can do that straight through. irritates me to no end that show is not talked about
I
in
know.
the history of greatest.
Because the
not a
pre-production
sitcom.
of them landing those interviews
Yeah.
to get Boutros Ghali or Sam Donaldson, who think they're sitting down with some young up-and-coming TV show. Ali G sits with a guy who's in charge of like some sort of like post 9/11 security initiatives or whatever. And he goes, there ain't much security on trains. What's to stop someone from hijacking a train and crashing it into the White House? And like full serious question.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, well, that would be quite difficult. What you mean? It's
right,
so good.
right. He asked Sam Donaldson, I think he goes, how come you guys don't give us the news the day before it happens so we know if there's going to be a fire?
Right.
The look of these people, the deer in the headlights. Oh,
he
my
gets
God.
And I'm just going. He gets to sit down with this high-end New York City publisher, and so he's going to pitch book projects to this publisher, and he goes, "I say we make a book version of The Lord of the Rings," and it's like he just keeps pitching movies that are based on books, and the guy gets more and more mad, and it's just like, "We'll make boatloads of cash." It's so good.
It's interesting because I feel like everyone just, Borat was so huge in the movie. And it's like, I feel like Ali G sort of gotten forgotten.
And they made an Ali G movie, but it was kind of weird and it didn't really work. Yeah.
100%.
I love it, man.
Well, like I said, it's because of the column I do every day. Like there's certain things, like when it's Halloween, I post the curb clip of Larry with the trick or treats. Veterans Day, I always post that veterinarian clip.
Did you post it today? I got to watch it.
I took the day off because of the holiday.
Yeah.
Because they're like, it's a holiday. I'm like, well, I'm going to take it because it's a Tuesday. So there's nothing, even though there is stuff going on with the YouTube thing. But, and I wanted it, since we were taping in the morning, I figured I'll take the day. So there we go.
All right. Post the clip. I got to watch that.
I will post that clip. I got to send you the Mariah clip. I appreciate you doing this. I know you're a busy guy.
Course,
Kyle Brandt, Good Morning Football, NFL. We didn't even get into the NFL today with those awesome skits.
They're coming.
About it down the road. Maybe I'll be on during the playoffs or something. And MVP vote. So much going on.
Thanks,
all right, Kyle. Take it easy.